Guys, we just saw Thunderbolts a couple days ago. We've had some time to sit on it and sit in how this feels, and it feels freaking amazing. Like peak MCU again. We are so back. That's going to be oversaid a ton. We are so back.
It feels fantastic.
Okay, we're done with that. But no, it absolutely amazing. I mean, it felt like old MCU project. I saw on Instagram someone said it seems like they recorded this MCU project way back in like prime Marvel 2015 and just saved to release it until now.
Yeah, I mean that's so true. Like it honestly just like it felt more like colorful almost, and it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know, like it's honestly I still can't even think of the words to describe it. It just blew my mind with how great it actually was.
It really felt like old Avengers 1, Avengers 2 movie. Thunderbolts, it felt like Avengers 1 because they're all coming together, new characters. They got to become a family, become a team. And it felt like, I don't know, Ultron kind of reminds me a little bit of Sentry in terms of like own creation. Like the problem is caused a little bit by themselves. But overall vibe, I felt that vibe very heavily like an old Avengers movie. And that's because we're getting into spoilers, and this is the new Avengers.
Well, one of them. To be very
Yeah,
clear.
we have a little civil war going on, but let's get into that. Let's get into those spoilers.
Before we dive into the post-credit scene kind of stuff, because there's a lot to talk
Lots
about
of
that.
breakdown there.
Just more about Thunderbolts I just thought it was such a good movie because it really dove into like the mental health side, and that was really shown through really everyone. They were kind of bonded by their mental health issues, but it was more specifically focused on Yelena and Bob.
Yeah,
and I think the way they did it was just amazing. I mean,
it's great.
Yelena's time in the void, amazing. The like hints of the void earlier in the movie, we see it with Walker, we see it with Yelena.
Yeah,
And just how like Bob like knows that he's doing it, but he can't control it. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah, and then how the whole team eventually ended up coming into the void and supporting and being there, and like I don't this new Avengers team, like, they're bonded. They're all kind of the same. They're all a bunch of B tier heroes or anti-heroes, villains, mercenaries, whatever you want to call them. They're a bunch of B tier people that like John Walker. Not a lot of people like John Walker in Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I mean I agree, but like I did like him. I thought he was a fun character.
I
Not a good dude.
Yeah,
but
you were meant to not like him.
Yeah,
like that's why I mean people don't realize you were meant to not like him, and so this movie and this writing took a lot of characters that it's nobody's favorite characters in these movies, but now Yelena is one of my favorite characters in the MCU right now. She's funny, the accent, everything she says, how she acts, her demeanor. Like right now for me, she's one of the faces of the MCU.
I mean, yeah, completely fair. The entire like the Thunderbolts team was just great.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it was really helpful to get Taskmaster out of the way.
Yep.
Hated Taskmaster. Happy to see her go.
Yeah.
But like how Ghost interacted with the team, loved it.
Unexpected.
I loved how she like bantered with Walker. They all bantered together, and it honestly felt like they were close friends with the way they did it. And
unexpected team chemistry.
Yeah, it was amazing. The chemistry was off the walls. Everyone was just doing such a great job acting.
Yeah.
The writing was amazing.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. I love this team. But one of the issues they're going to face is, are they the Avengers? We saw the end credits was a lot of news articles, like the press not liking them,
B-Vengers.
the B-Vengers, all that, the hate they're getting, the publicity, all that. So in the post-credit scene, I mean, we do see that, and in the Captain America Brave New World, that a new Avengers is forming with Sam Wilson, and kind of there's two Avengers, and nobody really knows what's going on with that. Sam Wilson doesn't like that this Avengers is government led. Him and Bucky are kind of having a fight about it, and we don't know a ton about that yet, but I think that's kind of where.
Yeah, but I mean, like I feel like we can kind of piece together where the fight's coming from, especially with how Brave New World went. Like obviously Sam was like against President Ross, forming a new Avengers. So I can only assume that the fight is just because Sam's not happy because Valentina is basically like the head of this Avengers, even though not really.
Yeah.
But like they're still like government backed. So I'm sure that's kind of where he's coming from. Also, he does not like Walker, which is completely fair.
So yeah, I love seeing the new Avengers team. The suits were chef's kiss. Amazing. Bucky's the Red Star, amazing. The US agent suit, everything was awesome.
The Sentry suit in the movie was.
The Sentry is awesome. I can't wait to see where that character goes because obviously it's like one of those things where he's so powerful, but he has to get nerfed almost by his own mental health. Like if you, he'll probably come out for Doomsday because it's such a like life or death situation, and like you can't risk having the Sentry come out without risking the Void coming out.
Right, which I just it sets up such an interesting plot point because it's like in Doomsday, like we already know he's going to be in it, right?
Yeah,
So if he suits up as Sentry, how how long does it take before the Void comes out,
yeah,
and what happens then? Like I don't know. I'm really interested in the role he plays, and we can only assume that we'll actually
yeah.
see the Sentry back, and it won't just be Bob.
Yeah, and I'm almost seeing like a Natasha Hulk dynamic where almost Yelena is gonna have to like calm him down as the Void, and I can't tell if that dynamic is like gonna be semi-romantic, but it really feels
Little
like
hint.
a little hint, but it could also just be like big sister little brother kind of thing. But I think it's gonna be sun is going down kind of thing, but for the Void with Yelena.
Yeah, I mean the connection they had was amazing in the movie. I loved how they portrayed it, and like seeing Yelena just like walk into the void, not knowing if she was gonna die.
Yeah,
Right, that was
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, the Red Guardian. Little did I know that he would bring the most emotional aspect to that movie with that relationship because although none of the people in the movie have a relationship together predating that movie, they have a relationship. It's just a horrible one.
Yeah.
But like they really dive into that and break down into that and really like push that emotional aspect through a character that is like pretty much comedy relief.
Yeah, and you know his big thing was like being a hero is the highest calling, and we literally see him save this little girl, and it's like this huge upbeat moment, and then the little girl finishes,
Voided.
just it's God.
I was like,
jaw dropping, shocked me to my core. I was like, oh my
yeah,
gosh. But I loved everything about this
yeah,
movie. I loved how they handled Sentry. I think they did a great job showing that the Thunderbolts were no match for
yeah,
him. Like he just completely whooped them
yep,
for like a solid 2 minutes.
yep,
Like light work.
yep. MCU is back. We can totally say the MCU is back. I mean, this is one of the best movies since Endgame. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Deadpool and Wolverine up there. And I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Thunderbolts, you could argue both of them for number one since Endgame. I think Guardians of the Galaxy might have the edge, but I think both very arguable because this one at least sets up Doomsday. It feels more like we're back than Guardians of the Galaxy 3 did.
Yeah, I would say Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is above Thunderbolts. I would just say like it felt like I don't want to say like bigger movie. It just felt like it was more
Established.
yeah, established,
Yeah.
emotional.
We
It
know
was
the characters.
yeah,
Yeah.
it felt like a good continuation of their story. Obviously, Thunderbolts is like a start of their story,
Yeah.
and it was still really good. I would put it firmly in the 2 spot over Deadpool and Wolverine, even
100%.
though
Yep.
Deadpool and Wolverine was a great
Great
movie.
movie.
It was a lot more fan service, which is great. Like
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but I did like that Thunderbolts was very plot heavy. So was Guardians of the Galaxies 3. It was both of those plots were just amazing, and Deadpool and Wolverine is there, and it's really good, but it is firmly in 3 for me.
Go see this movie. It's amazing. You'll feel that Marvel high that you used to when you used to go to the theater.
You'll feel so many emotions.
Yeah.
Like there's joy, there's sadness. I mean,
Yeah. There's everything.
they hit the highs and lows, man.
Yep. Go see this movie. As soon as this movie finished, peak. All right. You got, the news headings about the new Avengers. We kind of talked on that. You got a little funny, quick little end credit scene with the Wheaties with the Red Guardian, which, just it was just a good little humorous thing that Marvel tends to do with one of their post credit scenes. But then we have one of the best post credit scenes ever.
That's so true.
Yeah. Filmed on Doomsday, filmed by the Russo brothers. Amazing. Oh my God. I mean, you got Fantastic Four ship coming in. You got all new suits. You have the new Avengers in Avengers Tower at the penthouse in it.
With the new logo.
Amazing. You get a look at what this team is like after it's 14 months later. You get to take a look at that. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was mind blowing. I told Carson in theaters, and I was like, I think Sam Wilson's going to be in it. That's my bet. Kind of right. I wasn't completely.
He was mentioned. I said, I think this is going to be a Fantastic Four coming in off of their world. Boom. Oh my goodness. Did I think it was going to be right? No, I did not. But like a little bit. I wasn't expecting. That was kind of what I was expecting. The ship's coming in. It's kind of a question mark, but it's kind of like spoiling the end of a movie. But I feel like everyone kind of expect that movie is going to happen. I mean, Fantastic Four is set in the '60s.
Right?
They're on their own world. Everyone knows something. Now it's fan specs about how Doctor Doom is involved in Fantastic Four. A lot of things I'm seeing are, is he working with Galactus? Is he going to show up, stop Galactus? Has Reed Richards, he says he's sent out something into space. Is Reed Richards looking through the multiverse to look for an answer on how to stop Galactus? Where to go? Is he going to go to other worlds to see if they've dealt with Galactus? And maybe Doctor Doom hears this call and comes to his world.
Yeah, I've seen some outrage saying like, "Wow, now you've spoiled this movie," and I was like, "You really haven't, right? Like,
Yeah.
No matter what, we were gonna see the Fantastic Four get to the main MCU timeline, and we've already been told, at least what it's theorized, is that there's one Galactus in the entire multiverse.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, there's no way this universe survives.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're not gonna stop him, and something's gonna happen. It's been theorized from literally the trailers that they're gonna have to leave the Earth.
Yeah.
Like it's not a surprise to anyone. So I don't understand that outrage.
Yeah. No, not we casted these huge actors that everyone loves. And if they were just to stay on their own Earth, it would be a one spin-off. It would be a one spin-off movie of Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, like all these amazing actors. No, they're eventually going to join and be part of main MCU continuity and be a huge future. So they're not just going to stay on their own world. We knew they were going to come there, and that's what we saw. So no one's shocked about that. We don't know their world's being destroyed, but we know it's something with that coming. We don't know if the reason they're coming is because of that, or if they're coming because of Doom, or they're coming because of the multiverse. We don't know.
Yeah, and it's like we talked about this after the post-credit scene. It was like we don't even know how Fantastic Four is going to be outlined, right? Like we know that Galactus is going to show up, but what's stopping them from being like the last 15 minutes is where they enter the main MCU timeline, and we see those effects in the MCU during that movie before we go into Doomsday. I personally think that's pretty likely.
Yeah,
and I'd like to see that.
In the last video, I talked. Are they going to establish themselves on 616? Is there going to be a Baxter building? What's going to happen because they're coming in? If Fantastic Four, the last 15 minutes was that rather than just a post-credit scene of them crashing and then meeting someone, that would be amazing. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to crash land and both Avengers teams are going to show up.
Yeah, and I'd love to see that because obviously with the post-credit, we don't see Sam Wilson. We don't see the Avengers that he's assembled. And it's like we can only theorize who's on that team.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd love to see who it is, and I'd love to see if that was in Fantastic Four. That's like our intro to this other Avengers team, right? And maybe we get the Young Avengers in there because we know Kamala Khan's probably assembling one of those. Yeah. So it's just that's how I personally want to see Fantastic Four. Obviously, if they don't do that, it'll probably be in a post-credit scene. Like if they don't do the last 15 minutes, the Fantastic Four post-credit scene is 100% a continuation of the Thunderbolts post-credit scene.
And it's going to be filmed on the set of Doomsday. I guarantee. All of the Fantastic Four actors are on the set of Doomsday. All the Thunderbolts actors, set of Doomsday. Captain America, everyone that you need to film that is on the set of Doomsday. They're filming it right now, and it seems like they're doing a heck of a good job. I mean, a month ago, I think that Thunderbolts film and credit scene was filmed and edited, and it looked amazing.
Yeah, it looks great.
So I think every bit of this is getting me that little tingly MCU feeling. We have speculation again, something we didn't have in a lot of these previous films. They weren't connected, at all. Like Moon Knight, what was the point of that? How's it gonna?
Don't talk bad about it.
It was a great show, but it doesn't connect to the MCU. Eternals, we're never gonna touch on the Celestial. Literally stick. I mean, we touched on it in
Brave New World.
Yeah, but
it's 7 years later after the movie.
Yeah, came out. It's not gonna be important probably until they bring it back up a decade from now.
They'll probably bring it back up in the first X-Men or whatever.
Yeah, it's gonna be a post Doomsday Secret Wars MCU problem, but
yeah, and I don't know, it's definitely interesting. There's a lot of loose ends. We probably won't see Hercules
ever because Thor's pretty much done.
Yeah, probably, and that's fine. And going back to obviously it being it spoiled Fantastic Four. We know the Fantastic Four isn't gonna outright beat him, which just ties into how Brave New World and Thunderbolts have all been you talk down the villain, and stuff like that. And I've seen people complain about that, and obviously Brave New World,
I had issues with that. Definitely
had issues with that.
But Sam Wilson was never going to beat the Red Hulk.
Oh, absolutely not. And they didn't handle it very well.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts, I think, did a great job, especially with the like final showdown. They're in the void, Bob's mind, and he's beating up on the void. And you see the void slowly start taking over his body.
Yeah.
And then we get the super sick scene of Yelena doing a ton of acrobatic stuff
Yeah.
to get to him to try and hold him back. And then you see the rest of the team all hold him back. Like it was a very like family bonded moment, and it was like huge because it's like not only like they're helping Bob overcome like his darkest form and becoming his darkest true self, but they're all like fighting back, doing the same thing as well.
Yes.
Like in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we watched Walker behead a man because he couldn't hold himself back. But in this movie, he grabs Sentry's arm and holds him back.
Yeah.
Like he's like protecting Bob from doing what the mistake he made.
This is almost more of a family than the Avengers ever were.
Yeah.
And already, I mean, Thor would go off and do his own thing on Asgard. You know, Iron Man and Captain America, they know they needed each other, didn't love each other, but there was a love in the terms of the necessity. But this team bonded, amazing. I can't wait to see this team and how they interact with other characters. And a lot of the question was, where are a lot of other characters right now while the Void is taking over? Spider-Man is having major PTSD right now.
he's having a tough day.
I wouldn't be surprised if in his movie it almost starts with all of these flashbacks, and maybe we even get to see a look at him getting a flashback to Uncle Ben dying, and we actually like kind of see what that looks like.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be like, because I like that Tom Holland didn't have his own origin story, but we're gonna see a lot of how these characters, dealt with the Void, and probably a lot of people saw the Void in New York City.
I mean, yeah, it took over the entire New York City. I mean, you can only imagine what Spider-Man's going through. Just looking at No Way Home, like it's Aunt May dying, like Iron Man dying, like it's trauma.
You know who I really hope wasn't in New York City at that time was the Punisher. Ooh, would not be a good, but
a rough one.
Yeah, amazing movie. There's hope again. We are so back.
Yeah,
amazing post-credit scene. Go see this movie.
The rest of the year looks great, and then we move on to the Doomsday.
Yep, we have Fantastic Four, and then 10 months. And then Avengers.
Technically, we have Ironheart in there.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll probably be the one to watch that. He won't watch it.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it, but
yeah, how's that Marvel's watch coming?
I fell asleep watching Marvels, but I know it's important, so I'm gonna do it for you guys.
I still gotta watch it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again for watching.
Yep. See you guys later.